So he went to jail for a 12. He got a 12 for that. He got back out, didn't he? Went down Brighton, established his graft, got into a little bit of beef with someone down there, went to town on it in the high street, pulled the thing out, worked on him, got himself a 25 rec. There's loads of people that I've called a friend or been in my life that's life's off and dead. Loads, mate. I'm not lying, you can't count them on both hands. And they sit in jail thinking it's great. Some lads, you've got lads who are 40 now, and they've spent 13 of them 40 years in prison. Not in one stint. Not in one stint. 6 months here, year there, 3 months there, 4 months there, year there, 18 months, this. It all builds up eventually, that complete waste. And the trauma left in your wake as well. You know, the victims you create. You gotta try and like. You've got to try and look at it from a victim's point of view as well. You know, people. We've all been victims at some point in our lives, so you know what it feels like.
Should go to testify at the inquiry in order to clear their names, should they?
Some people aren't built for it. Some people can't get over that. Like even now, victims from I must make it clear when I'm speaking like this that everyone who was harmed by me or anything to do with me was all involved in the dirty way of life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Might have broke a jaw on that fella down there, but all the dirty. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's always been towards people in this life. It's never been against your nana, your mum, your little daughter, that lovely little house there. It's always been that criminal house, that gangster, this drug dealer who would always be my victims, if you like. I know it doesn't make it any better, but I'm just saying. You know, it's not like I'm getting your dad who's been roofing since he was 18 and now he's 39 and I'm just turning up, terrorising the life out of him. It just wasn't like that. You know, we're set up graft, we're working, people are coming into our territory trying to be aggressive and bully us, and we're standing our ground. We're not having it. We were just willing to go the extra 9 yards, they wasn't. It's the only difference. We were nothing special. You got knobheads, Darren G, biggest grass in Liverpool. In my eyes, the Farleys are the biggest grasses in Liverpool, lad.
It's not possible for that to take place.
You know, there's Paul Wilson's a bigger grass than anyone in Liverpool. There's loads of big major grasses in Liverpool, lad. And I'm definitely not one of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you think if I was that way inclined, lad, I'd be sitting in a 1-bedroom apartment? Not even a 1-bedroom apartment. But do you understand what I'm saying? You know, the same rats that are running around calling people grasses. As soon as a real person knocks on their door with a mask on, the first thing they're doing is screaming, "Mom! Mom!" Chaos in the house. All running around, ringing fed, panic mode. You haven't got a clue. You just don't know, lads. You just don't know. You can run your mouth off all your life, mate. Why are people bad mouthing you, Darren? Because I'm powerful. It's what they've got to do to powerful people. Bring them down. You can't bring me down, lad. Look at the state of them. Put them in a room with me, you know. Are they going to be as vocal as they are now? Trust me. Put them in a cell with me. Come in this cell, mate, lock the door. And she walks out there, yeah? You wouldn't last 2 minutes, mate. You're not prancing around a boxing ring with me, lad. You're not pouncing around the octagon. You haven't got a mouth guard in and a head guard and gloves on, something to mind your balls. None of that with me. You come in a cell, you scrap. You have a scrap. You don't start coming in there thinking you're a jiu-jitsu expert. Because your eyes just get poked out, your nose gets bit off, your balls get twisted. You know all that you can't do in MMA and boxing, you can do in a normal fight, you know, lad. Just because you punch your bag and hit pads and you've had a few scraps doesn't mean you're hard at all, lad. Get off that pedestal, use boxers. Just because you can throw a few punches in a combination, you think you're hard, you're not. Half years weigh a bag of sugar. Even someone who's 14 stone and can only throw a boss right hook will level half years out without any combination. So stop thinking you're hard because you do a bit of MMA or you do a bit of boxing. Doesn't make you hard one bit. A discipline is not a scrap. There's a difference between a scrap and a fight. Honest to God. And I'm a scrapper. You know, I've learned to fight since I was a kid. I just haven't been taught to fight. It's different, mate. It's like your school. You know, in school you're taught, you don't learn. Like your MMA classes, you're not learning nothing. You're doing repetitive, you're being taught. You're not learning on the spot how to get out of that headlock. Do you understand? You're being shown how to get out of that headlock. If you don't get put in a headlock in a certain way, you're not getting out of it because you haven't got a clue how to. That's just the way it is. You know, the MMA world used to be mixed martial arts. That's what it used to be. So what it meant by mixed martial arts competition was this. You would have a karate expert fighting a Muay Thai expert. That will be his only discipline. That will be his only discipline. Them two would have different disciplines and they would compete and you would have good fights. These days, MMA, every single one of them train BJJ, American wrestling, Muay Thai, this, that, this. And when they're fighting, they're exactly the same. They're cancelling each other out now and shite. And that's just my opinion, people. You know, if you take it like I'm hating on you, I couldn't give a shit. I'm telling you how it is. You know, UFC is shite. It's not mixed martial arts competition no more. Everyone knows the same skill set. Everyone's trained the same skill set. So, if you were watching UFC today and you had a Muay Thai fighter against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, it'd be exciting, right? You get two UFC fighters now. Say you get Paddy the Baddy and Darren Till, put them in a ring. He starts doing jiu-jitsu, then he'll start doing jiu-jitsu. He'll start striking, he'll start striking. He starts throwing a leg kick, he'll throw a leg kick. He drags him to the floor, he drags him to the... And it's just... They can't even defend against them no more because they all know the moves, they all know the tactics, they all know to get in, get out of all these moves that they all know. Because it's all uniform. All uniform, it's all of it. That's why it's gone to fuck. So, if you've got a kid that's been getting raised since the age of 16 to fight in rings, in octagons, right through his experience of fighting, right through, he's being protected. He's getting protected. So every time this kid's had a fight, he knows his eyes are safe. He hasn't got to worry about protecting his eyes. It's protecting his chin because he's a boxer, protecting his jaw, keeping the ribs tight, keeping it nice. They're not giving out the eyes. Now he's been doing that for 10, 12 years, not giving a f about his eyes. So when he gets into a street fight with someone that can scrap and don't give a f about defence technique and and he knows, look at his eyes. what that boxer gonna do? You only need to poke him in the eye. You don't even have to damage it. Just pink, pink. That's it. Disabled. Do what you want with him. Pick him up and launch him round like a rag doll.
And the adventure takes place at Empress Museum.
It's facts though.
And runs until March next year.
You know, and because they've been trained this way since a kid, it's foreign to them to protect their eyes. Do you understand? It's just foreign to them. It's difficult for them to get their hands that extra right up because they've been used to it here. Do you understand? Trust me on that. You know, they've got these big things protecting the groin area. Boxers, MMAs, they've got these big things. That's a no-go, you can't put your foot there. For years, they're not worried about this. Why? Because they're getting protected by the ref and they've got protection on there. You know, from out the blue, nowhere. They're not expecting a kick to the ghoulies because they've never had one in the whole 20 years they've been fighting. When they get one, it's over. And it's there available every time you fight one of these. Because they're not there protecting it. They're not used to protecting it. They're used to having the ref and this protection there. So when it's all of a sudden not there. So you know what I'm saying, don't you? I'm making sense to some of you. Yes, Judy. You know, everyone's got the same abilities, mate. Some have got skill sets that are exactly the same as others. That doesn't put you at an advantage. It puts you on the same level. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're at an advantage when none of them know your skills. How are you, Jess? James? TikToker in here? Thought he got blocked. Judy's going in with them TikToks there, thank you very much. And so I always say to the lads, you know, who haven't got much confidence in them, who haven't got the confidence in them to go into that MMA gym because it's full of bullying aggressive people. Don't worry about this, mates, just go and practice throwing a punch. A punch can turn everything on its ass, mate. Trust me. Practice throwing a punch. If you've never had a fight in your life, if you've never had to... There's lads out there that's never had to raise their hands, never had to fight nothing, so they haven't got a clue. All you need to know is if you can knock someone out, mate, it's happy days, lad. If you've been knocking people out all your life, you've got nothing to worry about, mate. Yeah, you might get weighed in, but you're going to do damage along the way.
It feels like we're in the home stretch now with precision.
And that's what you've got with a scrapper. Obviously, if you get your legs snapped or your arms snapped, it's hard to get back up in it.